when you actually do the work and when you actually get beyond the trauma from the past, it doesn't hold you back anymore and you don't feel it anymore. Because of the fact that I'm a leadership coach now and I have a business where I say I can help people get over struggles in their life, and for them to know that I've done that work myself. I've actually had a very deeply challenging personal journey myself, which I have been able to get out of and get over and sort of, actually imagine my success and find it. And so it's interesting for me to see myself in this position where just 20 years ago I would not have believed that was my future, that I was not going to be just like on top of the world for the rest of my life. Because when I got famous, I thought, that's it. No more struggles. No more struggles. I'm just going to be like on top of the world for the rest of my life now. I made it. I did it. But that wasn't really when I did it, because I hadn't really processed any of my past yet. I hadn't actually done the inner work, which I have now done over the last 20 years. And so now I know I've actually finally really done it. And in a way that it's not that my life's not going to be full of challenges, but the challenges themselves are going to be different. They're not going to be challenges that I have already learned about boundaries, about relationships, about misogyny or things disguised as feminism, but just other ways to control who you are in this world. In other words, about control and who's running your ship, about self-empowerment. I've learned all those lessons. Now my journey is about how do I actually allow myself to express myself fully in this world. It's been quite a journey. I hope that I have actually done enough work to have a really good, healthy relationship with another human. And that's going to be such incredible, gratifying proof for the work that I have done, and that it doesn't matter how long it takes. And when you get there, at the end of the day, if you can get there and be proud of yourself. And there's a slight something in me that's sad about like, but why did it have to take so long? And that comes from a comparison of myself with other people. But I cannot compare myself to other people because most other people have not had this experience that I did. Yes, domestic abuse is a huge problem in India, but I was literally treated very severely. And I have to allow that to be enough of a reason for me not being able to get back on my feet sooner. That's all. So it's just taken me a little longer. More dramatic, emotional and physical abuse for a long duration of time, needing longer duration of healing. That's all. So there's a part of me that didn't want to be broken again after the 8th grade. There was like this part of me that young girl who's just like determined never to break again or fall again. But she had compartmentalized her private life and her outward life. And that was not sustainable. So it had to crash again, and it did. And when it crashed, it sent me into a shame spiral. It sent me into a isolation spiral, which makes it even harder to get the help because I couldn't afford it. And I didn't feel like I could show my face to the people I knew once because they would look at me and expect me to just be all right, but I wasn't all right. I was fucking struggling and suffering. The first few times I was really nervous about it because it was like, okay, I'm really talking about my story now. And it's like, yeah, I am. And this is so empowering for me because I'm actually feeling freer than I've ever felt in the last 20 years by just saying this shit happened with me. I mean, my life went downhill for a little while and it got really bad, and I'm back. I'm okay now. And this is what my journey was. This is what my story is. And this is how I did it. And now I help other people. And if, if this resonates, I can probably help you. So that's who I've become. And I feel so centered, settled, calm, connected, home with myself. And so if I can be jolly and happy and so wonderful after all of that struggle, anybody can, because any struggle can be overcome. And the thing about this life is that you learn through your struggles. So how can I be ashamed of my struggles? Because that's where I learned my best lessons in this life. And so if I was to share those lessons with anybody else, I'm gonna have to share my struggles. And just like I'm not ashamed of saying I failed my 8th grade, because like as a 40-year-old, who cares? But there is still a tinge of shame in saying I haven't really, blah, whatever the recent struggles are. It's like, again, it's just that shame. If you can let go of shame, we should, as humans, we're taught to have shame just to be who we are. That shit. Shame should not exist. It does not exist in a plane where people are doing well with themselves. People who are doing well with themselves are not ashamed. They feel joyful. They feel powerful. They feel connected and invincible. And what I'm doing this for is simply to present myself as somebody who has had this experience, which gives me the lived experience, and I have gone and gotten trained to hold a space so that I can actually help you with your current situations and experiences so that you can move past your own experience. That's all. And number 2, and a very selfish but very powerful number 2, is to actually be, feel, exist in complete freedom as who I am, owning every part of it, because shame cannot touch me. Shame cannot touch me. That's fucking freedom.